Hey, it's real nice to see you. Welcome to this episode of Barlow BBQ. In today's video, we're doing something completely different, something we've never tried before on this channel, and come to think of it, I don't think I've ever tried it ever. And what we did is we actually marinated a pork butt. I've got it right here. Now this is just a little 3.5 pound pork butt, and we put this in the marinade last night, so it's been marinating overnight. Now this marinade has a lot of good stuff in it, namely it's got bourbon, it's got some soy sauce, it's got sugar, some black pepper, red pepper flakes, a lot of good stuff. I'll have the full recipe right down below the video in the video's description box. Now we got the idea from the latest issue of Cook's Country. We have a subscription to this magazine. We are not sponsored by Cook's Country. However, I do recommend it. Really great recipes, a lot of fun recipes in here, and a great magazine. So yeah, they had a recipe in this issue for a bourbon marinade for a pork tenderloin. Well, we're all out of pork tenderloin, but we did have this little pork butt in our freezer. So we thought, you know what, let's try something completely different. Never marinated a pork butt before, so let's give it a try. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna try out this pork butt that's been marinating overnight in this bourbon whiskey, bourbon soy, whatever you want to call it, marinade. So the first thing we need to do is get this pork butt out of the marinade. Just go ahead and take it right out of here. And there you got your little pork butt. I'm just going to take some paper towels and I'm going to pat off the surface here, because I'm gonna add some seasoning before we get it on the smoker here. And the seasoning I'm gonna use today actually is, I actually lied a little bit, it's not seasoning, it's just gonna be salt. I'm just gonna rub this with some kosher salt, and that's gonna do it. Any additional seasonings I'll add later when the pork is finished and all done. All right, there we go. Now we just need to get some kosher salt on here. Okay, this pork butt is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and set it in the fridge until it's time to put it on the kettle. I've got the Weber fired up right now, so it should be about maybe 15 or 20 minutes. I'll meet you back out here when it's time to get this pork butt on. All right, y'all, I got the Weber kettle all fired up. It's around 250 right now and rising. We're probably going to be cooking around 300 degrees or more. And just a little 3.5 pound pork butt, so I don't think today's cook is going to take too long. I'm guessing maybe 4 hours. 3.5, 4 hours, maybe 5 at the very, very most. We're gonna be smoking this pork butt indirect on the kettle today. So I've got all my charcoal back here, and then I'm gonna put the pork butt on this side of the grill over here, opposite where the coals are. All right, I'll put the little pork butt right there. Okay, now I'm just gonna leave that on there until it is all done. Again, I'm thinking it's gonna be about 4 hours, and we're going to smoke this pork butt until it's probe tender, which means I can stick a little toothpick in there, something, and it feels nice and tender going in and out. Typically that's around 190 to 200 degrees, the internal temp for the pork butt when it gets tender like that. All right, so this is all closed up. Maybe we'll come back out here in maybe about 2 hours and see where it's at. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you in a little while. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half since we put this pork on. Let's take a look, see how it's doing. That's looking good so far. And you know what? I can actually smell just a little bit of some bourbon in the air. Got my handy dandy probe thermometer. I'm gonna go ahead and check the temp on this pork butt. That's reading just over 120. So we have a ways to go. Again, we're just smoking this until it hits an internal temp of between 190 to 200 degrees, or whenever it hits the tenderness that I want. And before I cover it up, I'm going to flip it around just like this. And we'll just let this rip. I'll come back out here another hour and a half and see how she's doing. See you in a little while. Well, it's been 5.5 hours that this pork butt has been smoking on the Weber kettle grill. I apologize for the lawn mowing sounds over there next door at the neighbors. Always seems like it happens when I've got to check the barbecue. But it's all good. Pork butt's looking great. And like I said, this has been going for 5.5 hours. A little bit longer than what I was expecting for a 3.5 pound pork butt. But usually I wrap the pork butt to save the time during the stall. I didn't wrap it this time, I just let it go. And my temps were around 250 to 300 degrees. So I usually go maybe 300 or a little bit above that for a pork butt. So that added a little bit of time as well. But enough of me blabbing, let's go take a look at this pork butt and check it out. Ooh, would you look at that beautiful little butt right there. Got my handy dandy thermometer. I'm gonna take the temp and I'm gonna check to see how the tenderness feels. And let's go right here in the middle. Oh yeah, it's going in with very little resistance, pulls out with very little resistance. So that is feeling nice and tender. And I don't know, let's see. We're about almost 190, 189 right there. This is feeling really tender. There's got to be a lot of fat. That's reading 194. Nice tender over there. That's over 200 degrees. So this is done. I feel really good about taking this off. And what I'm going to do is take it off, and I'm going to just wrap it in a little bit of foil and let it rest for at least a half hour. And that should bring up the temps in the middle there, just to the sweet spot. If I can get that a little over 190, we'll be good to go. All right, so I'm going to get this off of here, and I'll see you guys back here in 30 minutes when it's time to shred this up, and we'll do a taste test. Well, all right, y'all, it's been 30 minutes. This pork butt has been resting, and it's time to shred it up. I know it might be hard to tell in this bowl right here, but it looks absolutely gorgeous, and it smells so good. I still get the slightest little whiff of some whiskey in there, but we've got a beautiful red mahogany color from all the salt that we used for the rub on there. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and see how this shreds up. Oh yeah. Like butter, y'all. This looks gorgeous. Whew, I can't wait to try this. This bark looks so good too. This looks good. I'll show you guys a little piece here. I gotta get the spot here. Let me switch this bowl around. I'll tell you what, y'all, I'm just gonna shred this up. Yeah, this is shredding up real nice too. It might be a little dry right there, but that's all right. We'll mix this all together. But let me finish shredding this up, and then I'll meet you back here. I'm gonna try this out and let you all know how it turned out, how this marinated pork butt. Curious to see how that marinade is going to come through. All right, listen, y'all, I just want to give you guys a little close up here, just to see if you can see some of that goodness. It smells so good. Beautiful, nice smoke ring right there, y'all, and the bark. Look at this, that beautiful bark right there. Let's give it a try. Well, all right, y'all, without any further ado, it's time to try out this pork butt. Is it worth marinating it or not? Let's find out. Well, I'll tell you what, that's really good. The soy is coming through in the recipe that I used, and I get a little bit of the bourbon in there as well. It's kind of in the background, but it really melds well with the richness of the fat that's in the pork. Just adds a little color to that, if you will. Overall, it's really good. It was a fun experiment to try to marinate a pork butt. I think it's something I'll try again. It'd be fun to try with different recipes and see what they impart to the pork. So I'm looking forward to eating more of this. This is really, really good. If you've never marinated one before, give it a try. And like I said, I'll have the recipe right down below this video for the marinade that I used today. And yeah, I hope you try it out. Thanks a lot for hanging out. I love you. And until next time, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Bye-bye.